Down to Wilton, a couple of degrees below. Clifton Park, I think a little bit above. Cambridge, though, about 0 tonight. Expecting lows in the Berkshires, generally single digits, but barely above 0, especially on Williamstown, Great Barrington 8, Chatham 8, and Delmar about 5 degrees. Tonight, tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun. It's a good-looking day as temperatures continue to creep up ever so slightly, so we'll call it just a little bit less cold. Mid to high 20s, around 30. 10. Friday, another change day. Cold front comes through during the morning. It's moisture star, but there will be some clouds, perhaps a passing flurry or snow shower. 25 to 30 early Friday. Then as the front goes by, skies clear, the wind kicks up, and the temperatures will once again drop. It looks like another quick shot of Arctic air for Friday afternoon, Friday night. That'll have Saturday pretty cold in the teens to lower 20s. We begin the day with some sun clouded up. We'll cloud up because moderate air heads in for Sunday. So some big changes in temperature this weekend, mid to high 30s and maybe some low 40s in the Mid-Hudson Valley. More clouds Sunday, about a 20 to 30% chance for a mixed rain or snow shower. And then more cold will be coming in for next week. Shouldn't be too extreme. Typical cold with temperatures generally settling back into the 20s for highs.
This is CBS6 News.
We are following two still developing stories for you right now. First, at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, the FBI arresting an Ohio man accused of planning an ISIS-inspired attack on the Capitol building.
Investigators say Christopher Lee Cornell hoped to set off a series of bombs targeting lawmakers. He's charged with attempting to kill a U.S. government official. The FBI says it first noticed Cornell after he voiced support for violent jihad on Twitter. The plot was stopped in the very early stages. We'll have more on this story as it continues to develop. We're also following developing news right now in Catskill. An elderly man is dead tonight after his pickup truck collides with a state trooper's SUV. State police telling CBS6 tonight 87-year-old Louis Becker was killed in that crash. This all happening around 9:15 this morning at the intersection of State Route 23 and Cairo Junction Road. Becker's passenger and the trooper, David Walsh, were both taken to Columbia Memorial Hospital. They have non-life-threatening injuries. Our Craig Smith is in Catskill tonight. Craig, what more have you been able to learn?
Well, guys, it seems pretty clear what happened here. The only question is exactly what caused the collision. There are a number of factors involved, and police are sorting them out now. It's a case of a T-bone collision on Route 23. Police have told us what happened. They just haven't said exactly how it happened, and it's possible they may not know exactly yet. Take a look at some of the pictures we shot earlier today to give you a look at this terrible collision. They say it was around 9:15, as you reported. 87-year-old Louis Becker in a pickup truck on Cairo Junction Road, getting ready to turn onto 23 or possibly drive across it. And police say Trooper David Walsh of the Catskill Barracks was heading west on 23 in an SUV, and he hit the side of the truck, a Ford Ranger. Decker was killed. Police say his passenger was his nephew, Fred Smith, who's a freehold. And they say he has a head injury and will survive. That's all the detail we have on his injuries. And one of the big questions here is how fast the trooper was driving.
Part of the investigation, our collision reconstruction unit will recreate the accident. There's mathematical formulas that will assist them in determining the speeds involved with both vehicles, and also we have the computer black box in the vehicles that will also help us assist with that.
So that when you get that data, that will confirm whatever it is the trooper's telling you at this point,
sure,
right?
Sure.
Can you say what he's telling you now?
Well, he was traveling westbound on Route 23, and the vehicle operated by Mr. Becker pulled out in front of him. There was a stop sign there.
Another critical question here is how close was the trooper to Becker when Becker pulled out? Trooper Walsh was taken to the hospital, treated, and released. Police are asking anyone who might have seen this collision to give them a call. We're live in Catskill. Craig Smith, CBS6 News.
All right, thank you, Craig. How does a break on your property taxes sound? If the plan Governor Cuomo rolled out today goes through, there could be some relief coming your way. Our Capitol correspondent Kimberly Howard is live to break it all down for us. Kimberly, those who earn $250,000 or less could qualify for this, but I guess not everyone is eligible, right?
That's right, Greg. It appears this plan is geared toward lower income people who are paying high property tax.
The property tax is the highest in the United States, period.
Governor Cuomo is proposing a nearly $1.7 billion tax credit program aimed at providing relief for homeowners who need it most.
Upstate, as a percentage of home value, you have the highest property taxes in the United States. Percentage of home value means you're paying less than downstate, but compared to the value of the house, it's much, much more. And those are people with less income who cannot afford it.
People like Geneva Conway, who says her property taxes in Manans are hard to manage on top of all her other expenses.
Property taxes are high, but in addition to that, you have to pay school tax.
Portfolio manager Dennis Fagan says that school tax isn't considered as part of this relief program.
And school tax is a large percentage of total taxes that someone would pay on their home.
Under the plan, property taxes have to be 6% or more of your income. In Albany County, where the median household income is just under $79,000, and those households pay just under $4,000 in property taxes, you wouldn't make the cut. Those households would qualify if they were earning less than $40,000.
So it is a benefit anytime you get a credit, which is a dollar for dollar reduction. In this case, your New York State taxes. It's going to benefit some people. It's going to benefit the people who own homes at the lower income levels.
And as for how the governor plans to pay for this, a spokesperson from his office says the 2% tax cap enacted in 2011 has positioned the state to accrue surpluses in the future. So that could be a start. Meanwhile, research organizations like the Empire Center are skeptical. They're saying this isn't really a cut as much as it is a subsidy. They say this could translate into another type of tax being raised. We're, of course, hoping for more specifics on all of this when the governor unveils his budget next week. We're live in the Capitol Newsroom. Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Kimberly. Happening right now at City Hall in Albany. Mayor Kathy Sheehan delivering her State of the City address. There she is in the rotunda. This is a live look there right now. She is touching on several key issues like neighborhood development, the city's finances, and public safety. Mayor Sheehan recently said nearby towns should actually help out Albany financially. Tonight at 6:30, why she's weighing an idea to rely on Albany's suburbs for a boost.
Bone-chilling cold around the capital region today. People walking to work in Albany this morning getting hit hard with the latest blast of frigid air. Check it out. The sign here, -1 degrees. This is at 10 o'clock this morning near Pearl and State Street. Over in Niskayuna, the freezing temperature prolonging the life of this snowman here. Luckily, he's got a hat and scarf there to keep him warm. Well, with the cold weather comes higher utility bills as we all try to heat our homes. Local Assemblyman Angelo Santa Barbara is hoping to help keep those costs down. He's calling on the state to create an independent consumer advocate. It would serve as a similar purpose as the Public Service Commission. CBS 6 questioning the Assemblyman today about his push for this new position if something similar already exists.
This would be somebody specifically that represents residential consumers. They would be a voice for our residential customers. They would report back to the public through. They would provide a public report on the proceedings, on state and federal proceedings, what's happened, and be able to ask questions and be a part of the conversation. It will be an advocate with some real teeth to be able to be at the table, ask the questions, and hold public utilities accountable.
Assemblyman Santa Barbara says right now the PSC focuses mainly on commercial customers. Lawmakers pushed a similar bill last year. It passed the Assembly but never made it through the Senate.
The Schoharie County man who admitted to yanking out his foster daughter's teeth learned his fate today. The Times-Union reports that Stephen Walker of Gallupville will spend up to 4 years in prison. He was sentenced today in Schoharie County Court. He used pliers to pull out the teeth of the 8-year-old girl a year and a half ago. Well, today marks 1 year since a fire destroyed the Villa Valenti restaurant in Winenskill. The owners tell CBS 6 they don't know if they'll reopen. It took nearly 100 firefighters several hours to put the flames out, but by then the building was a total loss. Ralph Valente says his mother owned the restaurant and he owned the sauce company. He says while his mother would be willing to reopen, his poor health and the death of his son might make it difficult. A year later, the cause of that fire is still under investigation. CBS 6 has made repeated phone calls to North Greenbush Police for more information, but so far, our calls have not been returned.
A gunman on the loose right now in Schenectady. Investigators tell CBS 6 a man was shot in the leg this morning near Broadway and Cedar Street. Police say the victim was taking out the trash when a man and woman demanded his car. Well, when he refused, police say he was shot and the pair took off with his vehicle. The car was found earlier this afternoon, but the two suspects are still on the run. The victim was treated at Ellis Hospital. A guilty plea today from Sahing Chan. He was part of an identity theft scheme operating out of the Golden Town Buffet on Route 9W in Bethlehem. Investigators say he and another man used a credit card skimmer to steal customer information. They spent thousands of dollars with the stolen card numbers. He faces up to 12 years in prison when he's sentenced in March.
To France now. Today's new edition of the controversial French magazine Charlie Hebdo sold out even before the sun came up today. This 1 week after gunmen stormed the company's Paris office, killing 12 people. The latest publication shows the Prophet Muhammad crying on the cover, holding up a sign reading, "I am Charlie."
I can see at the same time now that many voices in the Muslim world express the feeling that they have been offended by the republishing of that. That is a healthy and rightful position to take. But no one is calling to take any harmful action against the magazine.
Al-Qaeda in Yemen has claimed responsibility for the attack, calling it revenge for the political cartoons in the newspaper. Our sister station, by the way, in Washington, D.C. is holding a new terror threat special tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It will focus on the causes of the new terror threats, what level of concern we should have right here in the U.S., and the threat to free speech and expression. We'll be streaming that special live online at CBS6Albany.com tomorrow night.
At least 10 people are dead after a bus carrying prisoners skidded off an icy highway overpass in West Texas. The bus slid down an embankment and slammed into a train. 8 inmates and 2 correctional officers were killed. Several others were hurt. The bus was taking inmates from one prison to another when it lost control. Well, it was just a false alarm. That's what NASA is saying tonight about a possible ammonia leak in the cooling system on the International Space Station. It forced the crew from the American segment of the ISS to move temporarily to the Russian area. Later, tests found the off-scale measurements were caused by a computer failure and not an ammonia leak. Well, how did that happen? A college student finds herself trapped between 2 buildings in Brooklyn.
Got to see the video to believe it. The ways firefighters first tried to rescue her before they finally did manage to get her out.
Plus, a water rescue with a happy ending as crews dive into freezing water to get a playful pet back on solid ground.
This week, Billy Gardell, Luke Perry, and Lisa Kudrow get into the new year.
The dinosaur party! No, the real one in Japan! Oh, Godzilla!
Godzilla is real? With new laughs. Part of Greek mythology.
Dumbo?
Craig Ferguson hosts Celebrity Name Game.
This week at 7:30 on CBS6.
ASN College Basketball. Army at Holy Cross. Only on ASN.
Tip off at 8 p.m. tonight on CBS6-2 This TV.
More date nights.
More late nights.
More laughs.
More naps.
At St. Peter's Health Partners, we do more for cancer care, so our patients can get more out of life. We have the region's only Blue Distinction Center for the treatment of complex and rare cancers. And we offer advanced technologies in more locations. When it comes to cancer care, no one does more than St. Peter's Health Partners.
I used to drive a Chevy.
We went around the country talking to people who made the switch to Ford.
It's almost like driving a little sports car.
The Escape is a 4-cylinder car, but it runs like a 6-cylinder.
All my friends love it too.
This is the car that all his friends want him to drive so they can be in it.
They've thought of everything, it seems like.
I feel like I've morphed into 2025. It's fantastic. I love it.
Now lease a 4-wheel drive Ford Escape for just $189 a month or buy with up to $2,000 cash back at your upstate Ford dealer.
It's the Spa-tacular savings event happening now at Concord Pools. Top quality spas starting at just $34.99. Save thousands off Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas.
The Lazy Boy inventory overstock sell-off is going on now. $5 million of factory direct overstocks will be sold at rock-bottom prices. Hurry in now. Don't miss it. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Get ready for the one and only Mariah Carey. Next, Ellen.
Ellen, Thursday afternoon at 4 on CBS6.
Welcome back. Republican lawmakers moving one step closer to confronting President Obama on immigration. The House rolling a series of amendments into the Homeland Security funding bill. They're aimed directly at reversing the president's executive action on immigration.
We will keep our oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
As they peddle their malice about immigrants to pander to their base, they put our national security at risk.
The bill prohibits spending on the president's policy to temporarily halt the deportation of millions of undocumented workers. Lawmakers also narrowly voted to reverse the president's 2012 action granting work permits and protection from deportation for so-called dreamers brought to the U.S. illegally as children. With passage in the Senate unlikely, Republicans from both chambers say that they're going to discuss what their next step should be if the bill dies in the Senate.
A Brooklyn college student had to be rescued when she fell from her roof and got wedged between two buildings. You can see not much of a space right there, really about 2 feet wide. That may have helped the 23-year-old survive what would have been a 4-story fall. The wall's basically breaking her fall for her. At first, firefighters tried to break through a wall. That didn't work. They eventually actually shimmied down and freed her. That rescue took about 45 minutes. The student suffered just a broken leg. Pretty lucky, probably. Rhode Island firefighters making a dramatic rescue after a dog fell through the thin ice into freezing water. A neighbor heard the dog's cries for help and called 911. The dog, named Gizmo, escaped from a nearby home and wandered out onto that thin ice. He was treated for hypothermia and then reunited with his owner. Love a good happy ending. Could have been a lot worse. So.
Yes, it could have been.
Excellent. All right, Steve says this morning's double-digit below zero temperatures. Hard to say that, huh? Won't be repeated tonight. That's easy to say.
It's still plenty cold out there as we take a live look over downtown Albany. Steve's up next with a look at how cold and for how much longer. Stay with us.
CBS 6 News is sponsored by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. For help quitting, talk to your doctor.
Imagine if you had the power to protect your kids from cancer. You do. Get your kids, girls and boys, the HPV vaccine when they're 11 or 12, or as soon as possible if they're older. It will protect them from certain cancers and other diseases caused by HPV. So go on, use your powers to protect your kids. Talk to your child's doctor about the HPV vaccine today.
There's a certain kind of food you crave. Yummy, delicious, and tasty. And there's a price you like to pay. Low, lower, and lowest. Well, lucky you. Price Chopper puts it all together for you and your family. The good stuff you crave at the prices you love. This week, get select Kellogg's Special K and Keebler items, $1.49. And select Freihofer's bread or chocolate chip cookies or Thomas's English muffins. Buy one, get two free. Price Chopper. The quality you crave, the prices you love.
We gave people a mind-blowing ride in what they thought was our most advanced Ultima race car. Then, we just blew their minds.
It's just crazy that this is like the car. I was just it.
The 2015 Nissan Altima with blind spot warning and zero-gravity seats. Lease today just $189 per month or get 0% APR for up to 60 months. Altima, from the most fuel-efficient lineup in America. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Your business needs the right employees to provide the most value. At Linium Staffing, our team offers specialized knowledge in a wide variety of recruitment areas. Find more than talent. Find a great fit for your organization. Connect with us to get started.
There's a moment. Someone's bad choice leads to injury in your family. You never think it'll be you. But if it is, Finkelstein & Partners brings compassion to our clients' injury cases. For a free consult, Finkelstein & Partners, 1-800-LAW-AM-PM. We're here for you.
CBS 6 News with Steve LaPointe, the Weather Authority.
Well, the numbers are in, and this morning the coldest of the season so far for many of us. In fact, Albany officially dropped to 10 degrees below zero a little bit after 7 o'clock this morning. Mighty cold. Locations not too far from Albany dropping even colder than that. So far we've had 4 days where the temperature has been below zero, at least for a portion of that day at Albany. A typical season will have 10 days, and that's exactly where we were last year. So we are well on our way. with perhaps many locations dropping below zero again tonight, but shouldn't be as far below as we dropped last night. Here's a sample from our WeatherNet 6 spotters. Vermont, much of the North Country, anywhere from 10 to as low as 20 degrees below zero. Even Caroga Lake checked in this morning at 23 degrees below zero. That is mighty cold. Look at Landgrove, though. 3 below here, not as cold. That's a high elevation spot around 2,000 feet. The air mass very, very shallow, so the coldest of it basically in the valleys with some of the hilltops. Not as cold last night. Same thing will happen tonight. 15 below at Clarksburg in the Berkshires this morning. Ravenna dropped 12 below. Knox 19 below with East Worcester out in Otsego County 15 degrees below zero. 2 below for Livingston. Kingston, one of the few spots that did not drop below zero last night. Low temperature there was 3. So tonight I'm thinking numbers more on the order of 10, 12 below around Indian Lake. 7 to 10 below around Wells to Glens Falls. Queensbury, a couple of degrees below zero. Same thing for Rutland. Manchester, Bennington about 0. Saratoga, Gloversville should go a couple of degrees below tonight. Capital Region tricky. We're dropping very quickly right now. So a lot of spots probably in and around the Albany area will go several degrees below. Downtown probably 4 or 5. North Adams 2, Pittsfield about 5, Hudson 8. Might be a little bit more in the way of patchy cloudiness across southern areas to help keep temperatures up. That coupled with the fact that the air mass itself just isn't as cold tonight as it was last night. The colors not nearly as white on the map tonight as they were this time last night. So the air mass itself is moderating. That again with some cloud patches which are evident here on satellite should mean the numbers stay up a little bit. Mohawk Valley, Schoharie Valley, Western Catskills, Mid-Hudson Valley, Berkshires now with a bit of cloudiness, and this will be in and out certainly through the first part of the night tonight. Temperatures currently in the low teens around Lake Luzerne. Glens Falls has dropped to 4, but Lake George at 14. Saratoga now 7 with Schenectady at 9. So you can see there's a lot of variability. Albany 10, but Pittsfield at 17. Great Barrington 24. In fact, the hilltops saw temperatures in the mid-20s today. Valley areas generally teens to around 20. Tomorrow should be a little bit less cold everywhere. Mid to maybe upper 20s, close to 30 in the Mid-Hudson Valley with a light west to southwest wind between 5 and 10. So a good-looking Thursday on the way. Friday, though, another change as another front will come through during the morning. So Friday morning, the cloudier part of the day with a scattered snow shower, 1 or 2 of those around. Temperatures 25 to 30. The front goes by. Skies will clear. The wind will kick up, and the temperatures will likely fall through the 20s into the teens. Another shot of cold air for Friday night into Saturday. We'll have Saturday's highs in the upper teens to lower 20s as skies once again cloud up. Warmer Sunday, though, mid to high 30s with perhaps some low 40s in the Mid-Hudson Valley. There's an outside chance, about 20-30%. For a scattered mixed rain or snow shower, and then we will turn colder into next week. Do have to watch Sunday night into Monday morning. There's some hints that we might see a period of mixed rain going over to snow, but that's not clear right now. Otherwise, generally dry, colder. 20s Tuesday, Wednesday.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Yes, we will.
There hasn't been a lot of snow in the last couple of weeks.
No, we've had about 4 or 5 of those nuisance systems.
Yeah.
You know, an inch here, 2 inches there. So no big storms since the last one in early December. For now.
All right. You're a nuisance expert, that's for sure.
Thanks, I think.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve. Are the Toronto Blue Jays considering moving their first-round draft pick from Latham? The latest Hot Stove League news is just ahead.
Plus, another former Shaker Blue Bison has his eye on a bigger role in 2015 with the Colorado Rockies. What is it? Stay tuned. Doug has sports after this.
New year, no down payment. New car, no first payment. New Chevy, it's time to drive at DePaula Chevrolet. Equinox, 0 down, $224 a month. Silverado, $7,900 off. So come see me, Kara DePaula. DePaula Chevy, we're driven by you.
The excitement is building. It's game time, and Price Chopper can help you tackle the hungriest of fans. Score 2 of our fresh corner-to-corner single-topping pizzas and 2 pounds of our irresistible wings, plus 2 2-liter bottles of soda, all for just $24.99. Get 5 6-packs of Pepsi 16-ounce bottles for only $10. Turn your football game party into the ultimate football game party with ultimate savings from Price Chopper.
Hey, I'm John Leguizamo, and I love New York. Why? I'll tell you why, because every winter, my favorite thing to do is ski upstate. In New York, you can ski more and drive less. With over 50 ski resorts throughout the state, great skiing is always nearby. And with some of the highest snowfall in the U.S., it's always a perfect day on the slopes. Day or night, green circle or black diamond, for the experts like me, there's something for everyone. So plan your next New York ski trip at iloveny.com/winter.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, there's a variety of very innovative options for treating tumors.
one of the most exciting of which is NanoKnife, a minimally invasive technique that can target tumors very precisely while reducing harm to healthy tissue.
There's less post-procedure pain and quicker return to normal function.
We're recommended by a higher percentage of patients than that of any other hospital in the region. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits.
New year, no down payment. New car, no first payment. New Chevy, it's time to drive at DePaula Chevrolet. Silverado, 0 down, $279 a month. Equinox, $3,200 off. So come see me, Kara DePaula. DePaula Chevy, we're driven by you.
CBS6 Sports with Doug Sherman.
Welcome back, everybody. With sub-freezing temperatures engulfing the Northeast, how do professional baseball players like Shaker graduate Tommy Kahnle and Shen grad Brandon Cogswell keep their game sharp during the offseason? Well, you move your workouts indoors. Both former South Troy Dodgers have been taking advantage of multiple facilities in the area this winter. For instance, the Tri-City Valley Cats cage at Joe Bruno Stadium. Kahnle's getting ready for his second season in the big leagues with the Colorado Rockies. And after having proven himself as a reliable setup man as a rookie, the hard-throwing right-hander wants more in 2015.
Really, it's just trying to stay healthy, do everything I gotta do, eat right, lift right, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully this year will be better and I won't get hurt in the second half.
Cogswell, meanwhile, still dreams of the day that he might join Kahnle in the big leagues. Oakland's 7th-round draft pick in 2014 spent last summer playing A-ball in Beloit, Wisconsin. Seen here more than he did at the University of Virginia, just like back at Schenectady. Cogswell hopes to climb the minor league ladder that leads to Oakland.
You know, I just really want to go out, spring training, show what I've done this offseason, and really just see where it takes me. You know, I'm going to work hard. I made adjustments. Playing in Wisconsin and getting your first taste of professional ball was really eye-opening, and you know, it just shows how hard you do have to work if you want to move up the ladder.
Rumors have been swirling since the baseball winter meetings that Orioles Executive Vice President Dan Duquette, a native of Dalton, Massachusetts, is leaving Baltimore for Toronto's front office, but it would come at a price. And today, MLB Network insider Peter Gammons reported that Latham's Jeff Hoffman should be the compensation if the Blue Jays do acquire Duquette. The Shaker graduate continues rehabbing from Tommy John surgery and won't pitch in a game until mid-May at the earliest. Another potential hitch is that first-rounders cannot be traded until the one-year anniversary of being drafted. Dress them in red and blue instead of the green that we've been accustomed to in recent years, and Rex Ryan still is just as brash and confident about his team's prospects. Fired last month by the Jets after going 46-50, Ryan was introduced as the Bills' new head coach today. He inherits a 9-7 team that has not been to the playoffs since the 1990s. Nonetheless,
I know it's been, 15 years since the Bills made the playoffs. Well, get ready, man. We're going. We are going. And, the guarantee, hey, am I going to guarantee a Super Bowl and all that? I tell you what I will do. I will guarantee the pursuit of it. There is no question about that.
Just 2 days after losing to Ohio State in the national championship game, Heisman Trophy quarterback Marcus Mariota has declared for the NFL draft. Mariota had 1 season of eligibility remaining at the University of Oregon. And finally, junior hockey player Mitchell Skiba of the Alpena Flyers in Michigan was ejected from Sunday's game for that check. While exiting the ice, Skiba clotheslined himself. He was not assessed an additional penalty, though, for high sticking himself.
A little karma there, huh?
That's the exact word I was thinking, Greg.
I know Jeff Hoffman's mom is loaded up on the Blue Jays gear, so she may have to switch over, but the Orioles are a great franchise, so.
No sooner than June. She'd have plenty of time to get new gear.
All right.
Can't be traded until June.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan says nearby towns should pay up. Why the mayor is weighing an idea to rely on Albany suburbs for a financial boost. Plus, Chipotle pulling the pork from a third of its stores, including some right here in the capital region. Why carnitas won't be on the menu for the next few days.
Closed captioning sponsored by Albany Medical Center. Every day, saving lives and giving people hope.
When it comes to pest management, Cat's Eye services are like no other. Home protection starts with a proper exterior defense, targeting colonies with pinpoint accuracy that keeps your family safe and protects your investment.
Cat's Eye not only gives you a permanent solution, we can repair any damage already done to your home. Dependable, thorough, determined. For a company you can trust, remember, you can count on Cat's Eye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Flaherty. Capital Region Orthopedics is proud to recognize those student athletes who always give their personal best.
Hi, I'm Mary, and Stewart's ice cream is on sale. All half gallons are only $3.19. You save about $1 on top of already getting a third more ice cream than the smaller packages I find in the supermarkets. Quality ice cream in dozens of my favorite flavors. Did you know they make it at their own plant and sell it only at their own shops? It's so delicious because the folks at Stewart shops really love ice cream and they care about making it taste great. All half gallons, only $3.19 now through Sunday at your Stewart shops.
We were going through an intersection at a green light, and this woman pulled out right in front of us. Me, as a person that just got in an accident, I don't really have any clout with the insurance company.
Want to get the insurance company's attention? Tell them you're going to call us.
He checked every corner and every cranny of the policies to make sure that I was getting the maximum benefit I could.
Diana didn't know who should pay for her injury, but we knew and got her paid.
When you have someone like Martin Harding and Mazzotti behind you, it means something.
Call 1-800-LAW-1010. It's the Spa-tacular Savings Event happening now at Concord Pools. Top quality spas starting at just $34.99. Save thousands off Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas. Tons of hot tubs, all at hot savings. Concord Pools and Spas, just off Route 9 Latham.
Everyone knows 15% can save you 15 minutes or something like that. Why bother with one insurance company when this address gets you a dozen? Get up to 12 competing quotes for auto or home insurance by visiting PCAquote.com. Pearl Carroll and Associates. No lizards, no ducks, no bull.
At Capital Land Motors, we're overloaded with 2015 Subaru Foresters. There's 50 in stock and 20 on the way. Step into a new 2015 Subaru Forester starting as low as $21,950. $21,950. Get your Forester only at Capital Land Motors, Route 50 across from the airport, Glenville.
This is CBS6 News.
We're following developing news for you right now. First, at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, there's a live look. The FBI arresting an Ohio man accused of planning an ISIS-inspired attack on the Capitol building.
Investigators say Christopher Lee Cornell hoped to set off a series of bombs targeting lawmakers. He's charged with attempting to kill a U.S. government official. The FBI says it first noticed Cornell after he voiced support for violent jihad on Twitter. The plot was stopped in the very early stages, they say. We'll have more on this story throughout the night as it continues to develop. Other news now, an elderly man dead tonight after his pickup truck collided with a state trooper's SUV in Catskill. Good evening. I'm Greg Floyd. And I'm Jennifer Mullen. This all happening around 9:15 this morning at the intersection of State Route 23 and Cairo Junction.